recording now. Okay. So
And so am I.
sick? So how's the melee grind
Okay, melee grind's like all right. I haven't I've been practice. I haven't broken my
practice?
continuous practice. Yeah, every day. Even I do I do now think that an hour isn't enough to get everything that I want.
Yeah.
Especially since I'm only like I shifted from practicing like six things an hour to like two or three, or not even three actually, maybe like one or two.
What
Because I think that's like more. I think that's better
have you
in
been
the long run.
practicing?
The shine knockdown thing, which may or may not come out in the matches we watch, because there are definitely times where I would do it and I was like, oh wait, I was supposed to wave dash after it, even though I've
Yeah,
done it a million times during practice.
that makes sense.
And shine out of shield, which actually for the past 2 weeks or so, I have not been able to get it on net play. And today or yesterday, I got it. I only got it like 3 times yesterday.
I think net
But
play certainly makes it harder to like react to the situations where you have to do it though.
yeah, yeah, I think that like shine out of shield, and I think running up smash, I have a lot of trouble with, especially on net play. Um, like jump cancel up smash.
Yeah, for sure.
So there's that. Raptor and Connor were both out of commission the past couple of weeks. Uh, so I play with my boy uh, Devin, aka Asashi.
Nice.
Um, but like he's like again, I've only played like once a week, once or twice a week. I think I should play like against like people. I think I should play more, especially since the last thing you told me was to be more deliberate, which
It's
I
hard
hope
to
I
practice without fighting people.
yeah, exactly. So I think I should go like seek out more players.
Yeah,
Um,
if you can, it's definitely good.
yeah. What else? I thought of a game plan versus Falco, though. I tried to make it like simple, so I just went through like a couple positions that I know are common, and I asked myself the three, like basically your flow chart,
Mm-hmm.
and then I came up with a couple answers, and then I tried doing that. I ran into like a roadblock where um, if I corner the Falco and they just start lasering in place, I was like, dude, what am I supposed to do here? Because it like turns me around, so I can't just back air that.
Well, you can, but you have to shield the lasers.
Yeah, I have to shield it. Yeah, I wasn't. For some reason, it's weird like how I think about things. Like for some reason, I was like tunnel visioning on just how do I like just raw back air. I didn't even consider shield, or I didn't consider just like maybe if they're at higher percent, maybe I can just go and like hit them with nair
Yeah,
or
no,
something.
that's definitely right. You should either just like go in and nair them, or you should turn your back and shield so that you don't get turned around.
Yeah, so stuff like that where I'm just like I guess I'm like disappointed in myself where like why don't I just how come I just don't like consider other things. I'm always focused on how do I land this one thing.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
like it's very good to get in the habit of just like running through every possible option because like in any given situation, melee has like very limited options. So I think it's actually pretty easy to think about.
Hmm.
And then like as you get better at it, you can just form heuristics to follow, so you don't have to think about every option.
Right.
Because you know, like to me it was obvious, but like that's because I've thought about it. But like for you, it's like it shouldn't be too hard to be like, okay, so I want to face backwards, but he's lasering me. How can I achieve that? And then just go through every single thing you can think of. And if you can't think of it, just think of every button on your controller. You know, like literally every button.
Right. Yeah. That's what I
You'll be
should have
like,
been
huh,
doing.
what does L do? And you'll be like, huh, I can shield it. You know.
Right.
Yeah. Because there's literally only so many inputs you can do, and I think that should
Yeah.
help.
And then so it's just so my game plan currently is like it just involves like what do I do when the match like basically at the position similar to where the match starts, assuming that it's neutral start. Sometimes it isn't. But like both of us are on the opposite side of the stage. What I do when we're both in center, and then what I do when he's cornered, and then every other position, I feel like it's just the answer is just to move somewhere else for
Yeah, yeah. No,
every.
moving somewhere else is a very good answer in a
Yeah,
lot of situations.
yeah. which makes things a lot more. It helps me like think. Like it's easier for me to think during a match if I just break it down like that at least. So
That makes sense.
yeah. So hopefully I did that. I will admit though that uh, during my matches against Devin, there were times where I would get frustrated and then I just start like trying to drift into him and back airing him from like a position where I really shouldn't be and
Yeah. No, it's
stuff like that.
frustrating. For
Yeah.
sure. But do you feel like you were able to play more deliberately?
I would say so. Yeah. I would hope so.
What did
I was
you
definitely.
notice? How did it feel? What did you notice? Like, you should have noticed different things, hopefully, if you were playing more deliberately.
Yeah, I noticed that he stopped falling for because I would just dash dance when he's in the corner and he would dare and then I'd grab him for like the first 3 matches. He stopped falling for that, and then he would like start like um what is that like rising or fade back there. There we go. He would start fade back daring a lot, and I did not know how to deal with it. And then I would just get like, and then I remembered something you said where like, oh, usually better players than you, they just find a mix up that or something that they just don't know how to their opponent just doesn't know how to deal with, and then they just use that, and it worked against me. Like I was like, how do I beat the whole match?
Yeah, I mean, how do you beat it?
I was thinking either I just move somewhere else, or if I know it's coming, then I could full hop.
Yeah, full hop forward is a really good thing to do versus Falco. Because if he tries to do anything like in place, like you just jump over him and hit him, right?
Yeah.
Also, an important question to ask yourself in any melee situation is, like, is it important that I beat this? Like, is it important? Is it reasonable? Is it practical? Right? Like, and that's not a problem Fox has really. He kind of has it, but not too hard. But like lower tier characters have that problem a lot. Like, I mean, imagine you're playing. I mean, this is one of the classics. You're playing Samus versus Captain Falcon, and Falcon just does nairs, and it's like Samus essentially has no way to punish nair, like almost literally, right?
Right.
So then it's like, if you're bad at Samus, you'll fight a Falcon and just try to punish every nair, and it'll just like won't really work because there's like too many things you can't react to, and like it's just not really feasible. But then like, if you ask yourself, well, like, okay, if it's not practical to beat it, what do I do? And it's like you just do something else in the meantime and set up a new situation, right?
Right.
For example, one of my favorite things to do with Samus is just, if I think they're going to do something to zone me out, I back up and I throw a missile. And then it's like, they can't nair exactly the same way now that I've missiled, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's obviously like, oh, that sounds obvious, right? It sounds simple. But like, you'd be surprised how many people approach every other situation melee without doing that, and they just go, okay, well, he's doing this thing. How do I beat it? And then they just like run into it 100 times trying to beat it.
Right. Yeah. I think that definitely happened to me.
But also like taking a break in between games to like think about what like if you need time to think, I'm sure most people are okay with it. Like
right.
If you don't have an answer, then just stop for 2 minutes and think. And it's like, okay, so he's doing retreating down airs. Well, like, what's he doing beforehand? That's really important. Is he doing laser? Is he dash dancing? Is he, what's happening? Because sometimes the context before also changes the situation.
Right.
So just like getting yourself to think on this track, I think is very, very, very important.
Yeah, I've heard like, oh yeah, we can start watching, but last thing I'll say is I heard that like, or I listened to your thing on Bird Call, I think it was Ginger's podcast.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, like I remember you mentioning that like it's probably good for like if players truly want to get better, like every time a stock is taken, you pause and then you ask each other what they were thinking during that moment.
Yeah. I mean, that stuff's important. You don't have to actually do it all the time, but like at the very least, pause in between games and just think for a second. Because if you're not thinking, like, what are you doing even, right?
Yeah, like what's even the point?
Yeah, you just play for 3 hours, you learn like 2 things and call it a day. It's like, well, that's a waste of time.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's see some of this. There we go. Up smash here. That was good. You knew you weren't going to get there in time, so that was good.
Mm-hmm.
You maybe could have if you started running immediately off the up smash.
Right.
But then once...
Yeah, that's enough. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm just thinking... So this up smash was not very good. Let's talk about the second one. So what happened there?
I up smashed before he even shot a laser.
Is that what you were going for, you think?
No, I was definitely trying to take laser up smash again.
Oh, that's what you were trying to do?
Yeah.
Well, that's really bad for very clear reasons, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So just, having a plan in any capacity is good, but you need to still react, right? Because, like, right here, when you wave dash back in dash dance, you ran up to here. I see him in the air down airing right now. So, like, I'm thinking about running all the way in deep and shining. I'm thinking about running up and wave dashing in place. I'm thinking about, like, drilling at him to, like, cover his landing. I'm thinking about overshooting to hit a dash back. I'm thinking about a bunch of things. But none of them are involving the fact that he's lasering, right? Because he's not.
Yeah.
And then here, your dash back would have worked to dodge that down air if you did it faster. But I think you were slow on your dash back. I think. I could be wrong, but...
Yeah, I mean, I think it's feasible considering I just did. Actually, no, never mind. Yeah, I think I was just too slow.
Yeah, but I just want you to know, like, that totally could have worked.
Right.
But also, just as a reminder, you could do tons of other things. It helps to know that you're at 3, like, you're at, 5% right now? So even if he hits you with a rising downer, it doesn't lead to anything. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, if he hits you with literally rising downer... Oh, 1 second. Random number. Let me just see if it's important. Hello? We've been trying to reach you concerning your car's extended warranty. Nope, not important. But yeah, anyway, so since rising downer doesn't combo to anything at such a low percent, like you would have to delay it at least a little bit, it means you don't really have to worry too much about rising downer.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, for example, something that could be risky versus rising downer normally would be dashing forward right now, or dash dancing in place, right?
Right.
But because rising downer is not a big threat right now, you could do that and then see what he does. And let's say he was more defensive, then you'd be able to aggress on him, right? And then if he did this down air, you might have dashed past him and then been able to run back the other way and pressure him. But I think your option was good, just slow. Messed up your execution a couple times. Probably just related to whether or not you hit him. Getting good at fast falling based on hitting your opponent is extremely difficult, but very important.
Mm-hmm.
Just FYI, you can shine out a shield on that down air for sure. This one right here.
Yeah.
Just so that makes sense, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Is that pretty clear when you see it or no?
Yeah, it is. Because he didn't even. Yeah, he was a little slow on that shine, and also like.
The down air was just really early.
Yeah.
Like you could just look at his down air timing. Okay, so now you get grabbed. Do you know about SDIing the up throw?
I don't actually know.
Okay, so if you get grabbed by Falco, you generally want to mash various up inputs, like up left, up right, back and forth really fast. And if you get multiple SDI inputs on his lasers, you can usually shine out or jump out before he gets a combo. That's just really useful because it changes the risk reward of getting grabbed a lot in the matchup, and it makes Falco like way less scary to get grabbed by.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
So you said it was a SDI up?
Yeah.
Or multiple SDI inputs up?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
That is typically the way you get out. There's some other things you could do, but I'll leave it at that for now. And
miss every tech.
Yeah, it's pretty hard. You definitely want to get better at that, ideally. Nice. Something useful for tech chasing with Fox is remembering you can dash attack. So like right here, as I'm running over, I've already seen that he missed the tech, so I probably would have dash attacked him right there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, where does dash attack send him if you dash attack him there? He just sends him up.
Depends if he DIs. Yeah, if he DIs in, he goes straight up. If he DIs out, he goes towards the ledge. But he wouldn't be able to slide off, so you get like another tech chase.
I see.
Yeah. It's pretty good, like, if you're running towards someone and you see that they missed the tech to go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Then up air is probably not that good there. Maybe could have up tilted.
Oh, because he didn't. Because there's no DI.
Yeah. Oh, whoops. You messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, this definitely looks better than before, though.
Yeah. Messed up the ledge dash.
That was a very strange follow-up. So, you know when you up throw him, he's going to land on the platform, right?
Yeah, I was definitely trying to hit him on the platform.
Yeah, but you would never want to short hop there, really.
Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of weird. I mean, it happens, like, but what do you think you were going for after you... So look at this last back air that hits him.
I think I was just trying to wall him out.
Yeah, so you should be thinking about, like, the mix-up there. So when you back air him here, he can do a CC option, but since you spaced it really well, it's not going to hit you. So the only CC options that could maybe hit you are, like, if he CCs it and then, like, dashes forward and then does something, right?
Right.
So if you just stand there, I mean, he could, like, CC dash attack or down air at you. But if you, like, dash dance out of the way, you'll be able to dodge it. Also, the threat is that, like, if he doesn't respond immediately, you could bear and then just run up and grab him. So, you know, some people throw out a move immediately, like he threw out a down tilt. Some people spot dodge, some people hold shield, some people roll. You know, people do different things. But the point is that, like, you should be thinking about, like, what aggressive mix-up you want to play after that lands. Because that's, like, a big opportunity for you, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, you can get, like, a grab there and do big damage. So you kind of stood there, which isn't inherently bad, but it was pretty obvious that you didn't have a plan, at least, you know?
And that's funny. That's exactly what he said after we were done.
Yeah, you just didn't have a plan. I don't think it was a bad option for you to stand there and wait, but then you just, like, didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Nice back
I definitely did.
Your spacing on back air is pretty good, honestly. You just need to, like, convert off of it. I guess we talked about back airing versus Falco, right?
Yeah.
It seems like you have very much taken it to heart, and hopefully you see that it's working really well, right?
Yeah.
But, like, you know, when you land, like, this back air, like, you want to dash to the left and immediately try to convert to something. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, especially since, I guess, knowing, like, when, or would I have to know, like, when he's put into a tech situation off a back air, or is it like just percent based, or
everything, right? If you're gonna play melee at a high level.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, that's like the ultimate goal, right? So it's like 32. I feel like you should probably know that back air knocks down.
Okay.
Also, so you see him spot dodge here, so you know the back air is gonna hit. So I don't know how much we talked about hit confirming, I forget. But it's like, if you see that he spot dodged, you know the back air is going to hit, so you know he's going to get knocked down.
I don't think we talked about hit confirming, but hit confirming is something I have trouble with in, like, every fighting game. So
well, in melee it's weird, because it's more about awareness of the situations. But I think it's like, if you're reacting well, do you see how you could have seen that he spot dodged while you back aired there?
Yeah.
So then it should be easy to know the back roll hit. I will say that he probably could have ASDI'd down on that back air and not gotten knocked over. But that's also easy to see, because you see as soon as he goes airborne, you know he's not ASDI'ing down, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so it's like when I'm bearing the spot dodge, I'm checking to see if he held down or if he goes into the air. If I see this, then I go for the tech chase. If I see that he stayed grounded, then I play a mix-up, kind of like the previous situation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Cool. Then this next back air you did, where you got nared out, would have worked if you just did it a little earlier. But it should have worked. So watch this right here. So your back air wins that situation if you do it earlier.
Okay.
Does that make sense too?
Yeah.
Cool. I will say though that you don't have to tunnel on like only short hop back air, because like, you know what would have been way easier? You could have full hopped, dodged the nair completely, and then fell down with a back air or an up air, right?
Right.
Like you
And
don't have
that's
to beat it directly with short hop back air. Of course, there's plus sides to using it, which is that like when you full hop, you know, you're more vulnerable afterwards because you know you're up in the air for a long time. But the plus side is that like you completely avoid everything, and you would never have to have this happen. You know.
Mm-hmm.
The other plus side to full hopping, you can see my cursor, right?
Yeah.
Is that you get all the mix-ups we talked about, where you full hop and then you could land here, or full hop and then land back here, or full hop, fall, double jump, fall, or full hop, fall, double jump, land here, or fall through, right?
Right.
This sounds familiar, hopefully?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like full hopping has some extra advantages too. You can mix up out of it. And then also, something you haven't really done is just stay grounded when you have an advantage. So like right here, you don't have to hit him. You can just dash chance. And it's like you're at 0, so it's like you just dash chance. If he flies at you with an aerial, you dash chance grab that for free, right?
Right.
But like if you get nared out of the air, that's like one of the only ways he can get a big opener. Because like you're at 0 right now, so his only openers are what? Go through them with me.
His only openers are like, or nair or dare or.
So be specific. So
laser.
nair isn't an opener if you're grounded, right?
Oh, I see. Okay.
So when is nair an opener?
Only when I'm in the air.
Yep. So when is down air an opener?
When I'm not at 0.
Yeah, when you're not at 0, or if it's like a delayed down air when you're at 0, right?
Right.
But early down air never converts, only late down air. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So what?
So you would have to laser then.
Yeah. So laser, right? But that doesn't lead to anything immediately, at least. What else can he do?
I guess back air,
Yeah,
but
so like maybe really late back airs, right?
yeah.
Or if he back airs you out of the air or on a trade, that's pretty safe, right?
Yeah.
So he could grab you.
Yeah, he could grab me, yeah.
And then there's one more thing he can do, I think, that you haven't named.
Shine.
Yeah, shine, right? So if he lands raw shine in any way, that's probably good too, right?
Right.
So we just named, I think, literally every meaningful opener he could have reasonably. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Maybe he could like up tilt you out of the air, but you're at 0. That doesn't even really lead to anything unless it trades poorly. So it's like having those things in mind for every matchup, I think is really important. Think about your percent, think about their openers, and you'll realize like even though your back air should have worked, it's just probably not the best way to go about that just because of the risk attached to it.
Right.
Also on top platform, you realized you could grab him because he did rising down air, but you realized it too late. Watch this. Totally would have worked if you did it fast enough. So I'm just letting you know that a lot of your ideas are good. You just need to like react sooner or expect it better.
Right. Or I mean, good.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good thing,
that's
right?
good. Yeah.
Trying to make you aware that like it's all hope is not lost. When it's like all these things are going wrong, it's like actually a lot of these things are going right. You're just not quite executing. This movement sequence was really sick bait on the shield drop. I thought that was really good, really high level. But then you didn't convert. So
yeah,
we got to talk about converting. It's hard with Fox. The combos happen quickly. There are lots of different routes that they can go, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you grab someone, I don't know if this was a habit previously with Marth, although you should have made it a habit. You should always know the percent, know all the possible DIs, know where the platforms are, and know all the possible follow-ups you could go for before actually going for the throw. if you know all of this, you can throw immediately. But if you don't actually know all of this before throwing, you should like pause like mentally and don't throw immediately and think for like a quarter second about like what you want to do, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's not something you do, correct?
Yeah, it's not.
Okay.
I don't think I did it with Mart either. That's why I always got the comment, my punish game is terrible.
Yep. It's very, very useful. I think people get in the habit of throwing immediately, and it's a really bad habit. You can start throwing immediately so that they don't DI well, but like you should only do that once you're good enough to like know everything, I think. So you got the sick grab. Okay. Let's stop. What's his percent?
60.
Okay, great. Ideally, you know that before you get the grab, so you don't have to check it when you grab him, you know?
Right.
That would be the most ideal thing. So you're going to up throw. How could this play out? Give me some sample things. You don't have to tell me every single DI and combo, but give me some of your thoughts.
He could DI to the platform and then...
Okay, which platform?
The right one.
Okay, so if say what?
He's too far to go to the left one.
Okay, so that's our current assessment. He could DI to the right. He's too far to go to the left. So that means if that's what you think, then if he DIs to the left, then what should you do?
I can just hit him.
With what?
With like back air or something.
I would not back air if Falco full DI'd behind me to the left.
Is there enough space to chain grab him again?
Well, if he's not going to land on the platform, then yeah, right?
Yeah.
So you could chain grab. You could also up smash. You could nair, like dash short hop nair. You could wave dash up tilt, right? Like you know the wave dash up tilt works on FD, right?
Yeah.
So if the platform's not going to be in the way, you could wave dash up tilt. So immediately it's like, okay, if he DIs to the left and you've already decided he's not going to land on the platform, then you just kind of treat it like you already know that, and then you just go for the combo, right? But let's say he's going to go to the right platform then. What would your combo route be?
If he goes to the right platform, I think I would have to up air where he techs and then, or where he lands, and then either I hit his tech in place or I tech chase his tech on the platform.
Okay, cool. So you can shorten all of that to just say like falling up air coverage.
Okay, falling up air coverage.
Yeah, just for your own like ability to articulate, because clearly you already understand the combo route, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how much you've thought about this, but like shortening the concepts in your head to like easy to articulate quick thoughts is good, because like imagine if every time you're in a match and you up throw, you have to go, okay, so I'm going to up air, I'm going to hit the tech in place, and then I'm going to cover the tech rolls.
Right, yeah.
Like you can't think that every single time, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you currently do, but say what?
No, I can't think that fast, but I have been told by other people that I should try to literally like caveman words when I try to like
when you're trying to
think during a match.
Yeah, when you're trying to flowchart a situation, you just need to already know everything and have it as simplified as possible. So yeah, you clearly understand the concept already. So that's why it's like, okay, so if he goes to the right, you can do a falling up air coverage. If he tech rolls to the left after DIing to the platform, how would you cover it? So you falling up air and it misses. How would you cover the tech roll to the left?
Why don't I just dash grab or dash GC grab or whatever?
I don't know. You tell me. Look at the spacing.
Is it like... So you're saying if he DIs towards...
So he's going to DI over here, right?
Uh-huh.
So if he DIs fully to the right, he'll maybe land about here, right?
Right.
That's my guess. So you need to falling up air to land about here. But the thing is, your full hop doesn't go that far. Like, you can't drift that far. So you're probably going to land on the left side of where he is, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, like, Falco is going to go further to the right off the DI if he DIs fully. Then Fox would go just by full hopping and drifting right. Does that add up in your mind? Yeah. Yeah. So Falco is going to be about here, maybe. But box is only going to be about like here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the up air is going to hit the tech in place, but only barely. So then if you're about here and he tech rolls this way, I don't think you need to dash. You could probably just turn around grab, right?
Yeah, I could turn around and grab. I could probably also... Could I up tilt?
Yeah, you could up tilt. And also, up tilt's probably a better combo starter, right?
Yeah.
So if up tilt's a better combo starter, and it's easier because it's faster and you don't have to turn, that makes it easy. So then you up air, and then if you tech rolls here, you up tilt. And if you tech rolls that way, then you dash JC grab or dash JC up smash. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I think.
Okay. So then you also have to consider the possibility, what if he techs in place and the up air hits? So we've agreed you're probably going to land the up air on the left side of him, right?
Right.
So if you up air on the left side of him, do you know how the DI works where if you up air on the left side, he's limited on how far left he can go?
No, I don't.
Oh, so this is a very important melee concept. So like moves have like trajectories, but also like the side that you hit on affects where the starting point of the trajectory is. So like that's why if you have you ever noticed like if you up smash someone and you're to the left side of them, so like let's say you're here and you up smash, if he holds left, where will he go?
If I'm in this spot right now,
yeah, if you're in this spot right now and you up smash and Falco's holding left, where will he go?
Wouldn't he just go straight up?
Yep, he goes straight up. And if he DI's right, he goes like maybe over here somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So that's the trajectory. It's kind of like a 90-degree thing. But same with up air, right? So if you're falling up air and he DI's left, he won't go straight up, but he won't go as far to the left as he would have to the right.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. And I might have accidentally or I might have seen that during like just practicing up air follow-ups too.
Yep. So if you up air here and he DI's all the way right and you up air, you know it's going to be on the left side. Then you think, okay, well, if he DI's in, he's going to go relatively up. So then, you know, you can set up a follow-up with maybe you can instant double jump above him and then falling up air again. Or you might be able to like dash dance on the platform as he goes straight up and then full jump and hit him and land on the top platform. And that's like a good way to extend combos too, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you want to land on the platform so you land sooner. So like the best follow-ups are probably instant double jump above him and fall with an aerial, like either weak nair or weak back air or falling up air. Or you can dash dance and hit him to the top platform. Or he might DI out, and then you have to know what happens if he DIs out and you up air. It's like, can you land dash full jump back air, dash full jump nair? Maybe he's just off the stage, and then you have to know all of those things, right?
Right.
And then once you know all of those things, we go, okay, what if he doesn't even land here? He could have slight DI'd and landed here. And then your falling up air would have hit on, the right side of him, right?
Yeah.
Do you follow or no? Just making sure.
Yeah, I follow.
Yeah, so like he does a slight DI on your up throw and maybe lands closer to here. So if you full jump and drift fully to the right, you'll land on the other side of him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's the whole situation, but he could DI left and go all the way over here now. So you have to know all those follow-ups. And then we get to what if he does no DI right here? And then you could do short hop up air, up tilt, dash dance into a short hop nair, and you would ask yourself, what's the best one there? And then we have all the DIs we talked about earlier. So then once you know all of those things, we talked it out fully, you have it all flowcharted, you've practiced all of it, then sure, when you grab him here, you can instantly up throw.
But for now.
Yeah, for now, you should pause for at least a little bit. And maybe you can't think through all of those, but what you could do is at least remind yourself, okay, I'm going to check which DI he does and then do my best attempt at like what seems like the best follow-up, right?
Right.
And in this case, he DI'd left. So what do you wish you did here?
Chain grab.
Yeah, sure, chain grab. And then that creates kind of the same situation as here, but on the left side, right?
Right.
Or wave dash up tilt's good, dash up smash is good, short hop nair is good, lots of follow-ups. But what did you do? You thought he would land on the platform. Which is funny because when we paused the video and talked, the first thing you said was he won't land on the platform.
Right. Yeah.
So that proves that like you have sufficient game knowledge, right? You're just not like letting yourself apply it.
Right.
Because that was literally the first thing you told me. And I was like, hey, nice. Like, I think it's actually pretty tough to tell. But like clearly you've probably practiced it enough to know that he won't reach, you know?
Yeah.
And it's pretty close, honestly. Maybe 5% more. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, you're insane.
Yeah, I'm not sure what possessed me to do that. But...
That was fucking sick. It was not the right choice, but it was sick. I like the wave dash F smash too. This is all. You became a Marth player in this moment.
Yeah.
You like wave dash F smash him. Okay. Well, when you're here, if you think he's gonna go straight, you can just like stand still and wait for it. And if you think he's gonna grab the edge, you should just turn around and wave dash fast fall to the ledge. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Most people are really bad at it because they can't get themselves to like just wave dash to the ledge because it feels slow, but like you will get there in time if you're quick. That was not ideal. Hopefully you see why.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I said that this situation where you died was not ideal, but hopefully you see why. So like, look at this. You accidentally light shielded and got pushed off, and then you double jumped up, but then kind of just fell down right where you started.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then you did not do a very good job avoiding him, essentially. So maybe A, don't accidentally light shield. B, maybe once you were on the ground, you shouldn't have double jumped. You could have just held shield or something, or dash danced.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna double jump, maybe you could double jump side B to top platform. Alternatively, you could just full hop. Because the thing with full hopping is you still have your double jump available. But if you just instantly double jump, you don't really have anything else to do.
Right.
There are spots where that can be good, but this is not one of them. Nice. Okay, so you waited again. So ideally you learn how to tech chase without trying to read that he's going to spot dodge or up tilt, but at least you went for a knockdown and like guessed an option, you know?
Right, yeah.
So that's still an improvement. The tech chase is very hard, but you'll get it eventually if you practice. Okay, so you get this grab. So you're gonna up throw. What happens here?
Oh, like what we were talking about?
Yeah, you don't break it down. So at least on the basic level, check his DI. His DI didn't land on the platform. You probably could have dashed, re-grabbed, or dash up smashed, right?
Right, yeah.
But it was hard to tell. Watch this DI and see what you think. It almost looks like he's going to land, right?
Right, yeah.
But that's what you need to be good at. That's like a very, very important skill for a combo game. And you just want to ask yourself that every time. Nice.
Yeah, like platform yes or no.
Yep, just platform yes or no is a very good basic start to punish flowchart. So this time you do a good job of that. So up throw, chain grab, up throw, chain grab, up throw, and I would have just kept chain grabbing if you were gonna chain grab. You ended it early, which to be fair makes the combo way easier. But I guess in my mind it was kind of like if I really didn't want to chain grab, I would have stopped chain grabbing even earlier.
Okay.
But honestly, this was a really good follow up regardless. Also, I think up smashing is way easier than doing the falling up air coverage. So I don't think this was wrong, really. Yeah, honestly, this is pretty good. So you up air here. Nice. Yeah. So this is probably the best combo you've done so far. And you see how just like reacting to the DI and doing moves at all that hit was like already way better than before.
Yeah.
Like you have to realize that before you were just literally missing. Like you weren't even starting a combo, you know?
Right.
And this is the difference. You know, you string this together and it's like, hey, look how much damage you did. And then here, so this is where I was saying you don't have to just end it. You could like instant double jump above him and maybe get like another hit. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but
No, that makes sense because he could just land there, or even if he doesn't, I can still hit him.
yeah. Well, you can like get the combo while he's in the air still.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can like get it if you're really fast. So like right here, if you did dash left, jump, double jump, fall above him, you could fall down with an up air and it would combo. It would just be pretty difficult.
Oh yeah, what do I do against double laser at ledge if I want to keep my keep my spacing and stuff.
The easiest thing to do is to not keep your spacing, honestly, and just walk
Really?
up and shield next to the ledge. So like right here, you had already jumped, which is good. This is the other thing. You don't have to punish it. So you're here. Just don't drop down. Let him whiff the lasers and then pressure him. Because like this just goes back to what he's at 85. You're at 12. You're on a platform. You can threaten back air. Like that's a really hard situation for Falco, right?
Right.
So at a base level, just don't drop into it. But if you really thought he was going to laser here and you wanted to hard read it, you could have just full hopped like this way up here and then fell down on him with back air.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could shield here and then shine out a shield. But I think what you did was fine if you just waited for the lasers instead of dropping through. Also, when you spot dodged, I assume you meant to shine out a shield on the downer.
Yeah. Every spot dodge out of shield, I'm trying to shine out a shield.
Yeah, you just did it too early. So that was bad. Let's go back. That was cool. I like it. Okay. So you dropped down back air, but that didn't cover anything. Watch it again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you up smash, you go under him. So now you're trying to back air him if he lands here, right?
Right.
And then he grabs the edge. So your other option was to threaten the ledge. And that's kind of a higher level thing. Most people don't cover that. But does it make sense that you could have like ran to the left and up smashed or dash attacked?
Yeah.
So that's something to look out for already. But I like your option because you maintain advantage. There's no risk. So now he's on the ledge. There's no reason to come to the ground right now.
Right.
The only thing you want to do is if you really think he's going to do something near here, you could wave dash left and threaten him. But that puts you at risk if he ledge hops and tries to hit here. So the safest possible thing you could do is just literally be like in this box right here. Like right out of range of a ledge hop aerial, but not falling down at all. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, the way you're playing is way better, honestly. I think that one of the only things that really, really needs to change is that when you're in an advantageous position, you should be dash dancing like way more. Because like all your threats come from you being on the ground, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it's like, you know, you can't really back air him when he's at 0. So like, look at this. You're going to try. So like, you did that back air. And then it's like, sure, you can throw out this back air, but it's like, you're just going to get like CC'd or estimate, you know, there's just so many ways it can go wrong.
Yeah, even if I land it, I'm not going to get anything. So
sometimes, so this is the thing though. If you play a lot of Falcos and they're not playing on point, you'll like back air them at like 0 to 10. They won't punish it, but they'll try to punish it and miss, like they'll shine but be out of range or something, or they won't CC grab even when it's free. So then you'll full hop again, they'll whiff, and then you'll back air them like 3 more times. So it's like, sometimes it works out really well, but I don't ever think it's like all that legit. It usually requires the Falco to misplay. See, same thing here. It's like...
Right.
And you're so much more scary if you just stay grounded. So like, look at this. So you're going to back air here. That back air is fine. You're invincible. But now it's like, okay, you're on the ground. So if you're on the ground, you could running shine. You could run up smash. You could run super deep and then short hop nair him out of the air. You could dash dance, bait him in, and then grab him. You can dash dance and then react to a laser and put your shield up. You know, stuff like that. But if you short hop here, even if he just stayed in place and lasered, you would have lost that interaction, you know?
Right.
So jumping, like, removes your ability to be flexible or adapt to what's happening. And I think that's, like... Does that, like, make sense on a fundamental level?
Yeah.
Okay. Because that's really important. So those are the types of spots where if you were staying grounded, I think it would be going way better. Oh, crazy. And I think it's pretty clear watching this also that you don't have a good sense of like timing for when Falco will land from something. Because like here, he downered at you, but then you played in a way where it made it clear that you didn't really know what to do about it, right?
Right. Yeah.
Even here, like he whiffs down right in front of you, but you went for a grab that was like too late. So like, and also overshot. So like, I don't know if you were like when I watched that, I can't tell if you were reading him drifting back or if you meant to hit where he was and you were slow, or if like
I definitely meant to hit where he was.
Yeah, so that's bad for hopefully obvious reasons, right?
Yeah.
But then there's the other problem of like you have to realize how much of a read that is from you, because this could work, but he also could have just like fast fell and wave landed back, and if you had grabbed where you meant to, you would miss the wave land back.
Mm-hmm.
Funnily enough, I think the way you grabbed might have actually caught a wave land back, but it wouldn't have been on purpose,
Yeah.
So, one, you have to realize that what you're doing is risky and that it's a big read, which is fine if that's what you want to do. But then the second thing is you have to be able to execute it well, and you weren't able to do like either side of that, right? So if we want to talk about some safer alternatives, just so you can have them in mind. So if I see Falco double jumping here, instead of going for grab, I might dash back and set up a running shine, because I forget if we've talked about this, but since shine is one frame, you can react to way more.
Right. Yeah, we have.
Okay, sick. Yeah. So if you see him up there, you set up a dash back, then run in instead of standing still and just looking for the grab. You can set up a 1-frame reaction instead of a 8-frame reaction, and that way you can see which way he drifts or see his fastball timing a little bit more. And also shine is just way safer, right? Because even if he gets a shield up or spot dodges, you won't get punished. Also,
right, yeah.
Shine hits on the back and the front, so you can do something where you running shine so that the back hits him drifting forward, but the front hits him drifting backwards. I don't know.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. Also, you can like set up a drill so that you drill like in one spot where you think they're going to land, but if they land somewhere else, you don't get punished. So if you think he's going to land here, you just do a short hop drill here and drift slightly forward. But let's say he wave lands back right here, he probably can't get a huge punish on you whiffing a drill. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So using like short hop drill to hit them like wave landing into you or drifting into you and stuff like that can be really good. Similarly, if you thought he was going to drift back, you can do like an overshoot downer that hits here, and then if he lands here, you're probably going to be still pretty safe,
Right.
And the last thing you can do is if you don't want to set up a punish at all, you could just dash dance there, let him whiff, and then as he whiffs, you react to what he actually did, and then play the mix-up after, right? And that's the classic, like, he thinks you're going to punish his down air, so he spot dodges, but you weren't actually looking to punish down air. You were just checking if he was going to down air, if he was going to wave line back, because you weren't sure. And then you see that he down aired, and you think, okay, now he's scared of spot dodge, and then you play that mix-up, right?
Right.
So all of that hopefully makes sense, and I think that's what you want to be thinking about in those types of spots.
Right, yeah. That makes sense.
Sick.
I was also thinking like maybe like in that spot I could just avoid the situation entirely.
Yeah, you could. I think in this spot, it's actually a pretty strong spot for Fox because you're both at 0, and I think your risk reward on all your openers are better than Falco's at that percent.
Right.
If the percents were different, I could see you playing it differently, or if the stock count's different, or even if it's a different spot on the stage, But in this spot, it's like you have grab, shine, knockdown, drill, and he doesn't really have any openers that don't start off like a shine, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty easy for you not to get hit by shine. So here when he down aired at you, you could have dash dance grabbed it if you wanted to, but it is kind of a read. But then since you waited, I feel like you just didn't even know what to do anymore. And this kind of goes back to what we talked about, where it's like, it's always okay not to go for a non-guaranteed punish, but you need to have a plan. The shine was still sick. Shining people out of the air with Fox is super cool, but then you just like didn't follow up at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even wave that.
Yeah, you just did literally nothing, which was fine, honestly. If you just sometimes I actually do that if I want to crouch cancel. That wasn't really relevant since you were at 70. But what I'll do is instead of shine wave dash, I'll shine and then just hold down and look at what happens. And then if nothing happens, then I wave dash or full hop or whatever. Because sometimes you're not sure what's going to happen, right? It's kind of fun. But at the very least, once you realized you didn't do anything, maybe you could have put your shield off. Or played some sort of mix-up, And that's kind of
Yeah.
the thing where it's like, even if you do not the perfect thing, you can still realize, oh shit, I don't have time to attack him anymore. Maybe I should jump. Maybe I should dash. Maybe I should shield. If you
Yeah.
had shielded, he would have done this down air into the corner, and then you could have shined out a shield and it would have just sent him off stage. Can you imagine, like, visualize that happening? Here, you can watch it again. So imagine just shielding after you shined.
Yeah, I could.
And you see how far he went with the downer, right? Like, he didn't even space it a little bit. He went, like, super deep.
Right. Yeah.
So look, this is where you are. And look where his downer ends. Like, he's over here.
Mm-hmm.
So, shine out a shield probably would have sent him off stage. Cool. So we got through a whole match, which is sick.
Yeah.
Again, absolute biggest takeaway is being on the ground is where your threat is, how you have the option to threaten him, and it's also how you have the option to stay flexible and react to things. In the Falco matchup specifically, there is one option that you need to always be able to react to, which is short hop laser.
Mm-hmm.
And the minute you jump, you can't deal with the laser anymore. Which is fine if you plan on jumping in a way that just avoids the situation entirely. But you were jumping with a short hop, which leaves you vulnerable to laser and removes your flexibility at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So the only time you really want to short hop there, I think, is like, let's say you're dash dancing, and you don't want to do something like dash dance grab his downer because you're not sure if he's going to do it or not. So you could do like a dash dance away with a rising short hop bear, and if he tries to dare or nair at you, then you'll counter it. But since you're drifting away, it'll be pretty safe.
Okay.
That's actually something Santi used to do when he made Fox. He's probably one of the only Foxes that did it, which is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, do you see why short hop bearing is like kind of risky versus Falco?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd almost always rather just full hop first or dash dance or full hop bear and land on a platform. I might do short hop bear if I'm like, let's say I'm shielding a laser and I think he's gonna run at me, so then I short hop away from him with back air out of shield. That's one thing. But if it's raw neutral and you haven't even seen him laser yet, and there's no real reason for you to not just dash dance, then that's not really that good.
Right. That makes sense.
Sick. So yeah, staying grounded, biggest takeaway. You need to continue just practicing execution. I think you've gotten way better at it, but like you're clearly slow at reacting a lot of the times. You mess up a lot. You don't realize things. The shine knockdown thing was better in that you were aware that it was gonna knock down, unlike before. But then with the back airs, you weren't sure when they were gonna knock down, right?
Right. Yeah.
So just this concept of confirming, and then even when you kind of stood there and you knew it wasn't going to knock down, you didn't have a plan. So just getting better at playing the mix-ups out of the back airs. Being more cognizant of percents. Back air him at 0 is generally not the play, but that goes back to the whole staying grounded is better thing. We talked a lot about percents and openers, and we talked about Falco's main openers and your main openers. So that should help you kind of put things in perspective. Because, at the end of the day, if you're at 0 and he can never shine you or get a late downer, or never nairs you out of the air, you're probably just destroying him already because he'll just never get a big hit on you.
Mm-hmm.
Combo game. We talked about how to approach it. We talked about some possible flowcharts. We talked about how you need to stop and actually think, check DIs, platform or no platform.
Mm-hmm.
Sick. Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty good overview. Do you have any other thoughts or questions?
Do you think do you know if the computer instantly mashes out or not? If I wanted to like do like, for example, like just pause when I grab something or when I grab Falco in like training mode.
I think you can set it. Like, are you using Uncle Punch or just like normal stuff?
I'm using, I think 4.07 is
I don't think
yeah.
they mash out that fast or anything, but like, even if they mash, I think you have time to like stop for a second before going for something.
Right. I could also just pause.
Yeah, you can literally. Yeah, I was gonna say that. See, that's a great idea. Just literally pause the game. Like, that's totally okay. Cool. Okay. Well, hopefully that helps.
Yeah, that helps a lot.
Like I said, I think this looks a lot better. I do want to point out though, something you always want to try to keep in mind is just like, if you think about everything we just talked about, and then you watch that match again, try watching it from the perspective of like, what did this Falco even do to be able to beat me? And it's no offense to the other player, but just like, you'll realize that almost nothing they did was like all that meaningful or anything that you needed to get hit by.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you do you see why I say that or not really?
I guess not really. No. Like,
Okay.
are you saying that like maybe most of the time like I hit was off of like
You just
straight
didn't
hits or
you just didn't take into account like the things we just talked about today, you know?
yeah.
So like essentially I'm saying that like, you know, if you were playing at the highest level possible with an opponent who's playing at the highest level possible, you could take into account every piece of information available, play it well, and they could still just outplay you and hit you, right?
Right.
But I'm just pointing out that if you just follow a good basic set of rules, like you stay grounded at good times, you don't mess up your execution, you understand how to dash dance grab well, you don't mess up dashing out of lasers, you play your out of shield game well, you don't miss your combos, you know how to follow up on knockdowns, you know how to SDI his up throw. Like if you just knew all of those things, then what would have been left from the Falco in this game?
Oh, I see.
Like not all that much, right?
Yeah.
And I want you to start realizing that more and more that like as you get better at Melee and try to play it more correctly and are able to do these things, you'll get this sense of like there are lots of players who literally should not be able to take stocks off you because like they don't currently have the tools to, you know?
Right.
Because if I look through this match real quick before we wrap up, let's look at his big openings. And I always love looking at like where are the major openings? Where are the damage? Where is the damage rather? So you got hit by approaching down there. That probably could have been a big combo starter if he executed. But we saw you probably dashed late out of the laser, right?
Yeah.
Let's look at the next one. Okay, so that could have been a shine out of shield. He shouldn't have even been able to grab you, right?
Right.
Because he gets the grab on the roll after. And then even with the grab, if you SDI well, that doesn't lead to much. And then you missed every single tech.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, how much damage did you just take? You took almost 100% and just those things happening to you. Does this make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's like we add all that up and it's like, okay. And you know, this happened for the entire match. And it's like, sure, he did get some like actually pretty good hits on you. Like he had really good F smash read on your back air, and stuff like that. So it's not like that the player is like incapable. It's just that their current like melee knowledge is just not enough to hit someone who understands like the basic rules that they should be following, right?
Right. And even if
go ahead.
And even if it is like, even if they do have the melee knowledge to hit me, like they probably see me like just like messing up or something, and then it's like, oh, I can just hit him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's just like, how many players in the whole world even will be able to interact with you meaningfully if you're just like following good rules for the matchup? You know, the rules include things like, hey, at this %, these are Falco's main openers. At this %, these are my main openers. How do we play around these? Okay, here's how I shine out a shield on this downer. Here's how I move out of laser. Just following that, like I can already guarantee you, if you could follow every rule versus Falco that was just like a basic rule, nothing complicated, and you executed well, you can probably already beat every Falco that's not like in the top 200. Just like that, you know?
Right.
And so I'm just trying to show you like how powerful that stuff is, essentially.
Right.
You can go back in a match and be like, wait, damn. Literally, if I just did all these things, I don't think any of his hits would have happened.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why if you've seen my sets with like even like the Zoo or Santi or Squid or whoever, it's like they have trouble even hitting me, right?
Right.
Of course, I'm doing these things at like a much higher level, but like as far as it applies to these matches, I want you to be aware of that so that when you're watching, you can realize like how powerful just following good rules is.
Right.
Cool. Okay.
That makes sense.
I'm glad. Do you have any other thoughts?
No, I think this was very helpful.
Wonderful. I think you've gotten a lot better too, which is great.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. So we'll talk next time. Keep up the practice, and if you have questions, of course, let me know.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Awesome.
I'll talk to you later then.
Yeah, see you, man.
See ya.
Thanks.